All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, this is me, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Featherstone, episode 406 of the Pancakes and Powerslams show. I hope you guys like the countdown. I brought the countdown back for you all. So yeah, this is fun, ladies and gentlemen. We have right now we had 93 people here on live combined with and counting combined with the two Slam Buzz and Wrestling Rumors simultaneously right now. We are doing a WrestleMania 2 right now, ladies and gentlemen. We are doing the simulcast, and the good news is the Pancakes and Powerslams show will be here every single week. This is the 406th episode, but we will be simulcasting with both, and that is a reach of nearly 700,000 viewers. So that is big news. That is awesome. Once again, I am Chris Featherstone for Slam Buzz, for Wrestling Rumors. I am ready to have some fun with you all. For those who are new to the Pancakes and Powerslams show, this is the 406th straight week of the Pancakes and Powerslams show. April will be the 8th year. We will celebrate 8 years in April. Can you believe that? Every single week I have a wrestler, current or former, WWE, NXT, Ring of Honor. I've had MLW, Impact Wrestling. I've had a lot of Impact Wrestling wrestlers. So if you're new to the show, that's what we do. We have fun. We talk wrestling. We have a whole lot of fun, and we have I bring a wrestler for an interview for you every single week. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this week we have a really, really fun interview, as we always do. And we are going to make it happen and have a lot of fun. This person's been on the show before, and he definitely is going to answer your questions, whatever questions you have and you see fit to ask him. Please do. This person is a former WWE Tag Team Champion. He killed it in Ohio Valley Wrestling. He was doing his thing in Impact Wrestling as well. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Doug Basham. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm very, very good, man. Thank you, Chris, and congratulations on 406 straight weeks of broadcast.
Yes,
8 years, right?
8 years. Man. It'll be 8 years in April. In 3 months, only 3 months. It'll be 8 years. So,
congratulations, man.
Thank you, man. I really, really appreciate it, and I appreciate you being on the show once again, man, and spending your East Coast late night with me again.
I appreciate you having me back, man.
Awesome. So we talked a little bit off air, and I was really interested in your story of really kind of an opposite route of a lot of times when I talk to people. Again, the well, for the first time for you guys listening right now, it's a whole lot of people that's joined listening live right now through multiple platforms. The hashtag is Ask Doug. Ask Doug. Any WWE Impact Wrestling current life questions you want to ask Doug Basham, feel free to do so, and I will pick them up as soon as I ask a couple of questions. This is more of an open forum for you all, the PNP Nation, to go ahead and ask the questions for Doug Basham to let it so he can let you all know what he's doing nowadays. Speaking of that, it has been over 10 years since you have wrestled a match. It's crazy how time flies just like that. I just remember you and Danny and Shaniqua killing the tag team division in the WWE 03, 04, 05 time frame, I believe it was. Before that, OVW. And I think you went back to OVW afterwards, didn't you?
I did for a brief stint whenever the whatever gimmick that was that we were doing when it kind of ran its course.
Yeah.
Kind of went back to OVW for a little bit to try and come up with something new. And Danny and I were just kind of, doing enhancement for all the guys who had current stories. They'd put us in there and we'd help their story along and work with them and just like basically have a match on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I went back to OVW and tried to create, I was working on a singles character. I was trying to put something together. So when that time came and they wanted us to split, I'd have something ready.
Yeah. What were your overall thoughts on, you said whatever gimmick they were trying to put us in, which it was? I mean, who came up with the gimmick, and was there an angle with it? Because it seemed like it was some type of dominatrix type of thing, which was type of, it was just really odd. And who came up with that?
Oh my goodness. Let me tell you. Well, Danny and I, in OVW, Jim Cornette did all the writing in OVW, and the storyline that I was involved with in Ohio Valley Wrestling was, I came in, my uncle, Nightmare Danny Davis,
Mm-hmm.
he was the owner of Ohio Valley Wrestling, and he was my uncle, and he trained me and taught me everything I know, along with Jim Cornette. And the storyline went, for those who probably don't know, I'll just give it a very quick recap of how awesome and clever and how amazing and fun it was to put this whole storyline and wrestle the storyline through the years I was in OVW. But I was jealous of an individual named Nick Dinsmore, who was Eugene, because I thought my uncle wanted him to, take over the family business, which was Ohio Valley Wrestling. So I was jealous. So I put on a mask and came in and tried to just disrupt the company and take over the company and just cause as much chaos and turmoil as I can,
Mm-hmm.
as I could. And then through all this, 2-3 years, working in Ohio Valley Wrestling, trying to get a WWE contract, that was my main goal. Put together this a faction called the Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever the WWE would bring new talent in to be trained, I would have new guys in my Revolution faction, and then eventually Dano, the Damager,
Mm-hmm.
or Danny Basham, whose actually real name is Danny Holly. We became a tag team in the Revolution, and he and I, we were just like on point. We could sit and talk to one another without moving our lips. We could look at each other and know exactly what we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And we gelled really well and became actually, not only were we really good friends, became a well-oiled machine in the ring as a tag team.
Mm-hmm.
So where was I going with the story? See what happens to us wrestlers after many years of taking bumps and getting hit in the head. Where the heck was I going with this?
You were talking about we were talking about Shaniqua and the dominatrix, and before,
who came up with the gimmick? Yeah. Well, we were wearing, because we came up through the ranks of OVW and we wore, black leather pants, they had a lot of young writers, guys fresh out of college and all this, who would come in and write the storylines, and they saw that we wore black leather pants, and some guy went to a whose concert was it? And she was wearing black leather pants and dominatrix. I think it was can't remember her name. Who was it? It'll come to me in a minute. Mm-hmm. I'll have a Tourette's moment and it'll just pop out. But he went to some concert and she was wearing this dominatrix outfit, and then me and Danny were wearing the black leather pants, and then Linda Miles, who was just a phenomenal specimen. I mean, this woman was athlete at Rutgers. She was well built. I mean, she was in better shape than both me and Danny, and she was just a phenomenal
fellow Ohioan, by the way, like myself.
Yeah. I think she's a police officer in the state of Ohio right now. How would you like to be pulled over by her?
Right.
Get out! Get out! I know I wouldn't, but she was, just a phenomenal athlete, and they put her with us and made some sort of a dominatrix S&M gimmick, and we did the best we could to pull it off.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that stuff. Neither did Danny, neither did she, so we just kind of made it up as we went along.
Yeah. Was it a Vince thing? I mean, was he the one that just kind of had that thought in his mind? Because being in the business, especially being backstage, just Vince McMahon to just have an idea that's just out of nowhere, and he'll just, he just puts bodies to ideas, essentially what he does. And I'm just wondering if that was a Vince thing of just saying, we just need three people for this crazy idea I have, and Doug, Danny, and Shaniqua, Linda Miles would be perfect for it. So I'm just wondering, I don't know if that's true, but I'm just wondering if it was a Vince thing, and who was the person who called you from the WWE backstage and said, this is what we're going to do.
Well, it's so funny because we didn't start out that way. Mm-hmm. Here's the rise and the development of the Basham brothers in WWE, and I don't know. I don't think it was Vince's idea. When they brought me and Danny up, and we had our dark match, and they wanted to bring us up together, and JR came to OVW and watched us work, and Jim Cornette was a big cheerleader for us, trying to push us and get us moved up to WWE. Mm-hmm. So we went to SmackDown. We got called up. It was our time, and we were sitting in catering. We were like, nobody told us what we were going to do, who we were going to work, what our gimmick was. So we brought our normal gear that we wore on OVW, and it was probably about 2-3 hours before the show was even going to start before our debut, when we worked with Spanky and Rikishi. Johnny Ace came to us and set us down at a table in catering, said, all right, boys, you guys are going to go on tonight, and you guys are going to be the Basham brothers. I was like,
you got to do it. You got to do it in Lauren Nida's voice. You guys are going to be the Basham brothers.
I'll do my best. I've had a cold here lately, so it should be easy. Oh yeah, Daddy, Doug, we're gonna take your debut. We're gonna have to go out there and work with Spanky and Rikishi, and you guys are gonna go over tonight and debut, and you guys are gonna be the Basham brothers.
That was pretty good.
I was like, ouch, Danny, that's the best idea I think the WWE's ever had. Otherwise, Danny's over there going, what?
Right.
My last name is going to be Basham.
Right.
And I'm like, dang, I'm all right. We're going to be twin brothers, even though I'm 5 years older than you.
Yeah, really interesting.
The great minds, the great writing of WWE.
Indeed.
But, we did the best we could to pull it off.
You did. You had 2 reigns as champs?
Yeah, 2 times. I always say that. 2-time WWE Tag Team Champs.
Yeah,
best days of my life, man.
That's big. That's big. Feuded with was it Eddie and Rey? The first or second time around?
Eddie and Chavo. Actually.
Eddie and Chavo. Okay.
The first time we won, it was at the pay-per-view. They put us over. You don't win nothing. Everybody. I don't mean to ruin anybody's wrestling Jews, but it was our time. And after the match was over, and Eddie and Chavo put us over, me and Danny grabbed the titles and we came back, and we were waiting for Eddie and Chavo to come back through the curtain, right? And then Eddie comes up and said, "Congratulations, boys. I know this is what you've been working on your whole career. It's your time. Represent them proudly.
Nice.
Congratulations."
Nice.
And I was like, holy crap. That was Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
He just, wow. I said, "Danny, Eddie and Chavo passed these down to us. It's our turn." I'm like, well, what do we do? And Danny's like, "We celebrate."
Yeah.
Wow. Like, sounds good.
Yeah. That's huge, man.
So that was our first time.
Yeah, that's huge. That to get the rub from Eddie like that, just I mean, he, to the legend that he, was and is, and the time that he already put in, by that time, what, 3 years later he became champ world. No, the year after 2004 he was champ.
Yeah, like a year after
that.
It
was
like
2004.
Year and a half.
No way out of 2004. Yeah.
So he went on a singles run and became the world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
You got to work with him there when Danny and I were JBL a little bit. So
That's right. You were a part of the cabinet, right? Oh,
yep.
Wow, that's really interesting. Okay, so let's talk about the cabinet. There's a lot of questions that I'm about to get to. So I'm interested in the cabinet. So let's talk about the cabinet real quick before I get to these questions. So the Basham brothers as a main roster run was what, about 3 years altogether?
Yeah, probably. When we first got moved up, we got our push with Shaniqua. That lasted about 6 months, I guess.
Yeah,
7 months, which was just the best times of our life, because that's, if you want to be a professional wrestler, your dream is work for the number one company in the world, no matter what that company may be. At the time, it was WWE, and wear some gold, be a champion, and that's what we were. So we were loving life, and then after that, we kind of went. We kind of put on the back burner for a little bit, after Shaniqua got taken away, and we were kind of put on the, wait until we come up with something for you guys. Just keep doing what you're doing and help us when we need you. And that's what we did. We helped other teams, get wins, and we've had fill-in spots on Velocity and stuff like that. Just, irrelevant matches. Yeah. And then we did that thing with Tough Enough, where I think a couple weeks before, Kurt Angle almost got tapped out by Daniel Puder and kind of got embarrassed a little bit. And then Big Show was body slamming the guys, and they were popping right up and, not selling or anything, and making our top stars kind of look bad. And Vince was like, "We're not having any of this stuff anymore. We need to do something where, my top stars aren't being made look bad." So they did this deal where these kids were in the one corner, and me and Danny were in another corner, and they had to get past us to get the flag. And that was a straight up shoot, brother. Wow. Straight up. Danny he got his eye socket cracked. Wow. I got a broken tooth out of it. But we knew all day long there was a guy. You guys know Bill DeMott. Love that guy. Yeah. One of my favorites. Hugh Morris. He was working me and Danny up all day long. Like, man, you guys know if those guys even touch that flag, you guys are going to get fired, right? Wow. So we were like, what? Oh, so during this Tough Enough thing, none of those guys were going to grab that flag. So we went out there and we represented the company. And the thing about it, there's so many things talking to guys and people saying stories that nobody else ever knows. So I got a ton of stories, man. How much time we got?
Man, I mean, it's your call. I mean, it's a 2-hour show, so
we were going through the run through before the matches and all that, and the Tough Enough kids came out, and we were walking through stuff, and then the kids, I call them kids, because they were younger than me. They walked through their, we went through what was going to happen, and this is when you come up, then they all left, and then Vince was in the ring with me and Danny, and he was like, well, so boys, you see that turnbuckle over there? And he goes, there's going to be a flag there, and there's a WW on those turnbuckle pads, and we don't want any of those kids to get even close to that. So I don't care what you have to do short of killing them. Don't want them, nobody getting hurt. He specified, don't want nobody getting hurt, but make sure they don't touch that turnbuckle over there. We were like, holy crap. He just said, if they get over there, we're fired.
You're fired.
Yeah, you're fired. So there's nobody, and short of killing anybody, nobody was going to get past us. And the thing about it is so funny. They didn't have, I don't know if they, just in case, they didn't know if we were going to stop these kids or not, which we were. I mean, there's some big, strong dudes over there too. They had Bob Holly and Charlie Haas in the wings waiting in case somebody got past us. And if, yeah, they were going to like reshoot stuff, I guess, if they got past us, so nobody would, you know. So we represented. So we represented the company well during that Tough Enough thing. And if everybody you can go on YouTube and rewatch that stuff. It's on YouTube. Basham Brothers and Tough Enough. I've watched it several times because I was quite proud of it because I was a straight up shoot, man.
Wow.
there was nothing about wrestling to that.
Yeah, that's so was all of Tough Enough that season pretty much a shoot? I know that the Pewter and Angle thing was. I've had Pewter on my show twice. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. He about you know what I mean. But in Kurt's defense, that's when Kurt had a bad neck injury and his left arm was super weak, and you know because he had that neck injury and he didn't have any strength in his arm. So Pewter, I don't know if Pewter like took it easy on him or was really trying to make him tap, but Kurt got he got.
He did.
And Pewter had him. He had him, but and again, Kurt's defense, he had no strength in his left arm.
Got it. Interesting.
Because of his neck injury.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to get you back on because I love those backstage stories that a lot of people don't know about. It seems like you got some for days, and so I love those type of stories. So
I could go on for hours, man. I got so many.
Man, yeah.
We were leading up to something. There was something I was leading up to for that. What were we talking about? I get off track and I get going, man. I forget what the question was.
We were talking. Well, I don't think there was a question. We were talking about the Tough Enough. You were talking about the Vince.
Oh, I know what we were talking about. Okay, yeah. What in the second run? Because thank you, man. Sorry, everybody out there. I just keep going, man. I forget what I was talking about. Get caught up in my own stories. Well, our second run at the titles, because we represented the WWE. You know, two mid-card guys, Basham Brothers, who just a couple of guys from a little old hick towns in Indiana, man, up there doing our thing, chasing our dream. We defended the WWE and represented JBL and The Undertaker. Went to Vince and said, you know what, we put those boys in harm's way. We need to reward them.
Wow.
And how we got rewarded was we did that angle when Booker T and Eddie Guerrero were doing a tag match, and me and Danny came out of the crowd, and I can't remember who they were working, but we came out of the crowd and laid them out, and that's when JBL supposed to set the hit on Eddie Guerrero and Booker, and we were the guys that did it, and that's when we became the secretaries of defense for JBL. So that's how that all came about.
Wow, interesting. That is really cool stuff, man. I love those stories. I really do. So we're going to get into these questions, but I gotta get. I'm gonna give you a call, man. I'll give you a call. Let's get something scheduled again because I love these stories. Like these backstage stories. Yeah, I love them, man. I love them. Yeah, we'll debrief afterwards. All right, so let's jump into these questions here. Chris is asking, how do you feel about performing in Baltimore, Maryland?
Well, Chris, I am 100% retired, and I have the last time I ever stepped in a ring, which would be the last time, was in 2009. I did a charity show for a buddy of mine, and I forgot that I wasn't a young stud anymore. And I thought I would go ahead and do a diving headbutt off the top rope. I didn't land properly or land right, cracked my rib, done.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm just not going to be performing anymore. I'm done. My boots are hung up.
What do you do nowadays?
Nowadays, I am in medical sales.
Oh, nice.
When I was graduating high school, I went to Indiana University, and I took part in the pre-med program. I wanted to be a doctor. And somehow, I was 3 years into it. My aunt married Nightmare Danny Davis. He opened a wrestling school in Louisville, Kentucky. I always wanted to be a wrestler since I was old enough to turn the TV on and watched it. And I went to the wrestling school. He said I was a natural, and there you have it.
Nice.
Now, my career was over, and I was, still young enough to where I had to work and I didn't make Hulk Hogan money,
Yep.
Triple H money, Shawn Michaels money. I didn't make John Cena money. So I had to work. So I went back to what I wanted to kind of had a passion to do before I became a professional wrestler. And that's in the medical field, wanted to help people. So that's what I'm in, man. That's what I'm doing now.
Nice. That's awesome, man. You're heading to 50 now, aren't you?
Man, I'm only 47.
47. You still got some years.
Young,
but
brother,
you did
47 years young.
But you were like in your mid 30s at that time. You didn't even look like you were. You looked a lot younger than you were, even at those times. And I know that I think Danny's in his early 40s now, isn't he? Like 1, 2, yeah.
5 years younger than me.
Yeah. So I know that he was in his he was like late 20s, early 30s, and you were heading to mid 30s at that time, and it just didn't seem like it seemed like because although people were in the business a lot later, a lot more than their WWE television exposure, a lot of times that's the case. It seemed like, when you came to WWE, that was the beginning for you, although it wasn't. But you were killing in OVW for a while. And the thing is, I find it really interesting of someone who still had that type of athleticism, heading into, because you retired at 36?
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah. So, do you still think you had some years in you?
I did. Back then, I did, but I knew. The deciding factor, other than cracking my rib, the deciding factor that made me say I need to hang up my boots and start here is why I retired. And everybody out there, I'm sure, has watched that movie, The Wrestler, with Mickey Rourke.
Yep.
I watched that movie, and I didn't want to watch that movie for the longest time because I thought it's only got a movie going to make fun of wrestling. My career is what I did for a living. This is what I, don't want nobody making fun of it, And but I finally was told that the movie was really, very well written and well done. And I said, okay, I'll watch it. When I watched that movie, and I was doing a tour in England, I was on a 6-week tour over there, and I watched staying with a buddy of mine over there, and I watched that movie one night, and I said, you know what, that movie is as true and as close, if not spot on, to the lifestyle of wrestlers.
Yeah.
And I told myself, I said, you know what, it's time for me to hang up my boots and start thinking about doing something different because I'm not going to end up like that.
Yeah. Good call, man. definitely good call for that. Reign of the Ram. People don't want to be like that. I mean, there's people who are still at it and still doing a really good job at it. Jericho, for instance, he'll be 50 this year. But he's still doing it. Beat Tanahashi, AEW champion. He's still killing it. But yeah, there's certain people. I think that's important because a lot of times what you said that was interesting. I definitely want to ask you a question with this. You can share as much as you want. People who had like that mid-card status, like yourself, it's one of those things that you really can't afford not to have a backup because the money is going to go is going to come and go. You're more of a liability to Vince instead of an asset. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, John Cena can do whatever he wants to do compared to someone like Akira Tozawa nowadays, or something like that. And it's just like you have assets or you have liabilities, and so you have more stroke, you have more backstage power when you're making all the money and doing all the draws. But when you're someone who is an amazing athlete like yourself, but to Vince, you're up one day, you're down the other, you're still a liability to him. You really have to have some type of backup, and I definitely commend you for that. So,
absolutely, man. And I fit in that category of boys that was a dime a dozen. I was in that category. There's a dime a dozen guys that look like me. Work like me. So
yeah. Now I'm interested. Before I start asking a few more questions here, before I'll let you go. So around that time, what was for someone on kind of your tier? What was the pay looking like around the early 2000s, early to mid 2000s of someone in your tier?
In my tier, I mean, the contracts when I got in there was some restructuring going on with contracts, and I guess they were wanting to try and bring guys in, pay them a certain salary. I mean, I was on like about a $75,000 guarantee, and then I had all these other clauses in my contract, for pay-per-views and all this. So I was like, okay, that's I was 2000, I guess. I was like, well, I guess this is I'm gonna sign this, and this is where I'll start. But where I eventually want to be is I want to be in that 250, 300, $500,000, $1 million contract stage, because I thought, my eyes, that's all these guys up here are making tons of money, and that's where I want to be. But that's kind of where I was. I was in that tier. And the pay scale is so unfair. It's so uneven. I mean, it's so diverse. You got guys up there who are making $50,000, and other guys are making $1 million. I'm like, wow. I don't think it's very fair.
Yeah,
not fair.
Now, where'd you peak at? I mean, did you peak at the 75 guarantee?
Yeah, I think 75 guarantee. I only had one. I had a contract it was a 3-year contract, and I signed another 3-year contract, and it never did get finished out, and no money went up. But where I made my money was being on house shows and selling, being on video games and merch and stuff like that, pay-per-views, WrestleManias and stuff like that. That's where my money came from.
And even with that 75, all the expenses were from your dime, right? As far as travel, lodging, food, and all that stuff. Yeah.
The only thing the WWE would take care of was your flight, to and from.
Got it. Yeah. But you would have to drive a lot too from town to town, though, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And it's constant life on the road, man. That's why I'm 47. I don't have any children because I didn't want to not be home and raise children. So I never did have any.
Yep. All right. So just a lightning round of questions here. I'd say just 90 seconds or less. Let's see. Elvis, back when you were on SmackDown, what was your dream match that you wanted but never had a chance to? Good question.
Oh, Elvis, thank you very much. Dream match. I never did get to work for the heavyweight title.
Oh, okay.
I'd have loved to have had a match with whoever was heavyweight champ at that time.
Who was it? 03 Lesnar?
It was JBL.
Yeah, JBL for
JBL, Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah,
at the time.
That was the undisputed, but they had the world title too at that time.
Yeah.
Who was world champ? But it was Triple H winning because Triple H and Booker T was 19 for the title, and that was in. Oh gosh, I'm losing my years here. 19 was 03.
I don't remember your. I've had so much memory loss from all the head traumas or whatever. Just like in football, concussions, I've had like 7.
Oh,
I can't remember. I can't. But like I said, later on tonight, I'll be laying down in bed, and I'll go. I'll just come out. Oh, it was Shawn Michaels.
Yeah. Right. So 19 was 03. Yeah. So Triple H was the world champion at WrestleMania at that time.
The highlight of my career was WrestleMania 20 in New York, where me and Danny won the triple threat.
Yeah.
No. Rikishi and Scotty. See, I can't remember. Rikishi and Scotty were champs, and went in there in front of 20,000 strong. Bro.
Nice.
You talk about took one split moment when I walked out, when our music hit, and I walked out. I marked out for a second.
Yeah.
I walked out because that's my dream. I'm like, I want to be in WrestleMania.
Man,
I'm walking out.
Yeah, I remember right
Danny,
too.
I said, "Oh my God, dude, just take a minute. Look." And you walked out, and there was just people all around, man. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And then I got back into character. So I broke character for about 3 seconds. I broke character.
Yeah, I love to see stuff like that. Just when people just kind of soak it in. You know what I mean? It's good to be in character. I get it, but it's like I love when wrestlers are still marks. I love it. I love it, man. I think it's so cool. And just, especially because we as fans, we know when someone is just authentic. You know what I mean? It's like we feel that authenticity from someone who really loves the sport, and I think when someone just kind of marks out for the business and like that, like you said, just kind of soaking in and be like, wow, I remember when I was, watching MSG videos, VHS videos, and just that moment. And then we feel it too, as spectators. So it's really cool to hear stuff like that. Yeah.
If you go back and watch, I don't know if they I mean, it may have happened before they put the cameras on when we were coming out, or a little bit after as we were climbing in. But you could see it because I stopped and I was just like, oh my God,
wow,
oh wow, I was like, oh, jumping up inside, I'm jumping up and down, running around in circles.
That's awesome.
The best workers are the biggest marks, man.
Absolutely. Let's see. Here we go. Brendan is asking, you have shared the ring with many tag teams. Who was the one tag team you enjoyed working with? I guess enjoyed working the most with.
Oh yeah, Brandon. The best tag team. I enjoyed working with all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But probably the easiest and the most fun was Eddie and Chavo, or Eddie and Rey.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, easiest, fun. We're joking up in there, just having a good time, clowning. Everything was so easy. I mean, and Eddie was so entertaining. It was fun.
Yeah. Now Eddie and Rey took the titles from y'all, right?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Eddie and Scotty and Rikishi took them.
That was at Mania, right?
Yeah. Let's see who.
I thought it was Eddie and Rey, like the 05 reign. I thought because y'all won on SmackDown, right? It was like a 4-way.
Yeah. We dropped them. We dropped them to, I think it was to Scotty and Rikishi on a SmackDown taping.
It was no way out that the Eddie and Rey beat y'all, wasn't it?
Oh, and it was when we were in the cabinet. Yeah, it was when we were in the cabinet, I think, right? And then Eddie and Ray did their angle for Eddie to turn.
Yep. See? And then the Dominic thing and SummerSlam.
Yep.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yep. Let's see. There's 3 more questions cool for you?
Hey, I'm cool. I can go all night long, brother.
All right. Sounds good. Here it is. Cole is asking, technical wrestling is the best. Who is your all-time favorite technical wrestler By the way, you were pretty dang good at it.
Well, I'll tell you this, Cole. I had a lot of guys I tried to be like and looked up to, but the one match that I had with a guy that I couldn't wait to have a match with, that I thought was just amazing, and I got to work him once in OVW, and then I worked him a couple times, 2-3 times in WWE, was Chris Benoit.
Mm. Yeah,
we beat the crap out of each other too.
Yeah.
It was real. A lot of loud rounds.
Nice. A lot of clubbing.
Oh
yeah. There's some really, really good. There's some really good questions. Let's see. Cole's asking again. Does Heyman really have the mastermind that a lot of us fans think he does?
Yes.
Simple as that.
One word answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Simple as that. Toby's asking. Toby has a Duke avatar. My man, I'm a huge Duke basketball fan, so I like Toby already. You're a Kentucky guy, aren't you?
IU.
Okay, you're Indiana.
I'm a Hoosier, man. I'm a Hoosier.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well,
don't hate.
Bobby Knight days. I'll give you all that.
That's when I was there. That's when I was going to college, man.
Yeah.
Bobby Knight was there, man.
Yeah. Did he really poop in the middle of the court?
He did throw a chair. Yes. I think you can YouTube that and find it.
No, but there was a story of he pooped in the middle of the court and told his students, told his kids that's what you were like when they lost a game or something like that, and pooped in the middle of the court and said that's what you all look like, or something crazy like that. That was
I don't know. I don't ever remember that happening. I mean, maybe I've never heard that. So yeah. I'm gonna go with no.
Yeah, let's hope not. Let's just hope that was just a rumor. So Toby's asking, who did you meet that gave you goosebumps?
Well, I will say this, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I remember meeting Hulk Hogan for the very first time,
brother.
Because I grew up watching Hulk Hogan, right?
Yeah.
And it was at a pay-per-view, a joint pay-per-view, and me and Danny got finished eating. We were not on that pay-per-view. It was either a SummerSlam or one of the big four, and we walked out of catering, and we were going back. We were just going to hang out and kill some time till we watched the show, and Hulkster was cutting a promo, pre-tape. And I walked up. I go, oh, Dave, listen, that's the Hulkster. He goes, oh, no. I said, oh, yeah. He goes, no, don't. I go, oh, yeah, I'm going to. He goes, don't do it. Don't mark out. I'm not going to mark out, but I'm definitely going to shake the Hulkster's hand and introduce myself. And he was up there doing his promo and went through it. He had to do a couple takes. He must go, very rare because the Hulkster's on point. And then he had to cut it again, and he got done. And he was in character, right? Brother, I'm going. And then he walks off. I go, Hulkster, Doug Basham, pleasure to meet you. And he, I was expecting him to say, how you doing, brother? Eat your vitamins, drink your milk. Yeah, brother. Good, good to meet you. No, it was like, hey, man, Terry, pleasure to meet you.
Nice.
And I was so excited. And I was a little bit crushed.
Yeah, because he was out of kayfabe. Just kayfabe just died right there to you.
That did not go how I was picturing it. And I'm so let down. I should have listened to Danny.
Yeah, that was the death of kayfabe to Doug Basham right there. That one moment.
And I lived in Florida, and I was invited to Edge. He was getting married, Adam, and the Hulkster was and I was at the wedding. I was dating Gail Kim at the time, and we went to the wedding, and the Hulkster was there wearing a flowered shirt and a bandana on his head. I was like, hold on, man, everyone's dressed up. You're wearing a bandana and a flowered shirt.
You got to stay in the gimmick, brother.
He was 24/7.
Yeah. Now you kind of threw something in there that I didn't know. You dated Gail Kim.
Yeah.
Huh. I don't think I ever knew that. That's interesting. What year was that, and how long?
So we dated about 5 years.
Really?
2000, 2005.
Wow. I don't know. I gotta find out if I knew that or not. I don't even know if I
Opened a whole new can of worms there, didn't I?
Very interesting. Yeah, very interesting. All right, so let's see. Let me ask you a couple really good ones here. Here's a good one. Cole's asking some really good ones. Do you have any cool stories of Batista in OVW?
Probably the coolest story I have about Batista that I can't say on air, but the second one would be he and I were doing. I was the Machine, and I was wearing a leather mask, and nobody knew who I was because I had came back to OVW. Like, I've been gone for a while, and I came back to OVW. I totally transformed my body. I was like shredded and just built, but not like Batista, because he was a monster. I mean, he was just like a bodybuilder figure. And we built this angle to where I was the heavyweight champion, and I was, avoiding people and just beating people. And I had this revolution, and, I was well protected. So the best story I had was with him. We had a match, and I was dropping the title to him. He was going to be the champ. And the finish was a spear. Or no, he speared me and then gave me the power bomb. Mm-hmm. So he speared me, and when he speared me, I farted in the ring, and I was like, "Oh, that was just a fart." Speared me, boom. Then he picked me up. He picked me up and power bombed me, and he's sitting there and he covered me. And I'm like, "You smell that, Dave? Dave, you smell that?" Because I'm wearing a mask, right?
Yeah.
So, no, he ripped the mask off me. I'm sorry, that's right, because he shoved it in my mouth. Mm-hmm. But I'm sitting there, and his body, his shoulders are on my legs. I know. You smell that? You smell that? There's the best story I got.
Nice. Now let me ask you this.
Stuff like that happens, man.
Yeah, it does, and it makes me want to ask you this question real quick. Let us know. I mean, I'm interested of getting just like the backstage revealing stuff. Now, explain to us how the conversations work when you're covering and things like that. I know I've seen I've been a journalist for a decade now, and I've got a lot of good buddies who still wrestle for WWE, but they still want to keep the secret things. I'm interested in asking you, like, when people are covering, do you check and see if they're okay? Did you say thank you? Because I know Seth Rollins recently, I think he said thank you to Roman Reigns one time. And what are those conversations when you cover someone for the 1, 2, 3?
I don't know about everybody else, but I know what I did, and everybody pretty much that I worked with did the same thing. Mm-hmm. Whether I was covering them or they were covering me, I would always say thank you. Mm-hmm. And
nice.
Thank you. Because, you're working together, and didn't hurt you, took care of you, and you guys created an awesome match, hopefully, or good, told a good story. So you just thank each other.
That's really cool. Yeah. Wow. That's really cool. So from now on, everybody who's watching wrestling, when you see two people covering, know that there's a good chance that they're probably saying thank you to each other.
Yeah. The key is saying thank you without nobody knowing you're saying it, and not moving your mouth, stuff like that. I became quite the ventriloquist when I learned how to talk without moving my mouth.
Nice. That's really cool. All right, Brian is asking. Well, Brian said it was dog poop for the Bobby Knight story. So yeah, there you go. Brother. There you go. He's also asking, who is your favorite and least favorite to work with?
A favorite to work with, man, that's a tough one. Because I loved working with everybody, and because it was so easy and everybody was so professional and so good. But probably when I actually got to work with Chris Benoit for the very first time when I was in OVW, because he was one of my idols, Mm-hmm. And, I mean, even though he did what he did, everybody has their opinion, so do I. But at that time, he was the guy I was really looking forward to working with.
Sure.
So that was probably the most anticipated person I was looking to work with, and the match was awesome.
Nice.
The least, there really wasn't the least, because I enjoyed working with everybody.
Cool. All right. I think Daniel's asking, who is your favorite wrestler growing up?
Who was my favorite wrestler growing up? Oh man, I loved Razor Ramon. I thought he was so cool, Scott Hall.
Yeah.
I thought he was so cool. And the very first time I ever met him, I marked out. I was like,
yeah,
Razor Ramon. But I was just a kid, you know.
Yeah, that's really cool. All right. Last question. Okay, I think there's two of them. Okay, real quick. There's three good ones. Okay, so real quick, did you ever accidentally break character in the ring? Brian's asking.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Did you really? Was it that often?
Oh yeah. Every time you go in there and you tell a joke and you just laugh and yeah, all the time, man. You pay attention on house shows is where it mainly happened. TV was business. The house shows is when you had fun.
Yeah. Which diva did you have a crush on?
I dated Gail Kim.
There you go. Yep. All right, and last question. There was a good one. Okay, here we go. Elvis is asking, do you believe that JBL should be in the Hall of Fame? He wants JBL in the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I still talk to JBL every now and then. We're acquaintances and friends.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, let me know when you're going to go in because I want to be there.
Nice. Wow, my man, it has been awesome, man. It's been really, really cool. I wasn't expecting it to be this fun. I was expecting it to be fun, but not this fun. And
man, I appreciate being on 406, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'll be getting in contact with you soon, so we can bring you back on the show to share some really cool stories about the different things. I'm really interested in like a WrestleMania story too, the WrestleMania 20 story, and some things that led up to that. And there's all different types of angles that we can go with WrestleMania season that we can discuss if you're interested.
Oh, Chris, I got all kinds of stories, man. I could talk for days, and I appreciate you having me on, man. And I really appreciate all the fans. I know I wasn't like one of the mainstream stars or something like that, but I really enjoyed fans that would message or come up and ask for autographs and talk, and just everybody was really cool when I was there. And I always tried to be nice and sign autographs and say hi and talk and take pictures and stuff like that. So, because the fans, man, were that if there was no fans, I wouldn't be able to do what I did. And those are the best times of my life, man. I'll never forget them, you know, and I have a lot of memories, and a lot of the fans help make those memories come true, because if they weren't buying tickets, I wouldn't be doing what I was doing.
There you go.
I really appreciate the fans, man.
Awesome.
Wrestling ain't nothing without the fans.
Amen. There you go. Awesome, man. Appreciate you, Doug. Have a good night, man.
You got it, bud. Take care. Bye.
That was awesome. Doug Basham, my guy. I really appreciate him being on the show, and that was really, really cool. I was not expecting it to be that fun. With that, I had a couple things in mind to talk about with Doug. But yeah, that was fun, man. That was really, really fun. So, how's everybody doing? We've got an hour left to talk. Of course, there's Ask Chris questions. Yes, Cody. Cody's just jumping on. Cody, it's funny. I will be okay. So you're jumping on now. I'll put it on Twitter. So from now on, it will be simulcasted through the Wrestling Rumors and Slam Buzz Facebook pages. That's a reach of nearly 7,000 people. 700,000 people, not 7,000, 700,000 people. So basically what I'm going to do from now on, Cody, is in order to continue to build up the Crave Wrestling YouTube page, If you're looking at this right now, go and subscribe. But we're going to go the route of live Facebook through those two platforms, simulcast. We're pulling a WrestleMania 2 from now on. So jump on. I will have YouTube. I will have each episode on YouTube following the live. And I'm actually considering doing all three at once, all the two platforms and Crave Wrestling. But in order to do that, I need your guys' assistance with the Patreon. So you need to go to here, patreon.com/pancakes and powerslams, in order to make some adjustments, some upgrades, some things like that. I need your support. I need your support financially. I'm here for you. I do it for you every single week, 406 straight weeks. So give $1, give $6. I think there's like 2 tiers there. Both of them were less than a combo meal, one combo meal at a fast food place. You only got to do that 1 month. In order to do that, I'll be able to continue to do the enhancements. Now, there's a lot of people who followed me from years ago and have seen the advancements of the Pancakes and Power Slam show. I'm doing that because of your support. So I appreciate you all financially, your financial support. Go to patreon.com/Pancakes and Power Slam show. If you join, if you become a member, if you become a patron, go there. If you join the top tier and you are there for 3 straight months, you get a Pancakes and Power Slams t-shirt. So, and I have those, and there's some people who are patrons now who have those Pancakes and Power Slams t-shirts who can actually vouch in the comment board for those. And there's also some patrons who actually made the 3-month mark. I believe Cole is a part of the 3-month and over club now. So thank you, Cole. You have a t-shirt coming your way. So go ahead and message me privately your t-shirt size, and we will get you a PNP t-shirt. So congratulations and thank you for your support. For those, listen, Pancakes and Power Slams, patreon.com/Pancakes and Power Slam show. There's actually an upgrade that I want to do to be able to host it on all 3 streams, including YouTube. And of course, I need your financial support to do that. So I appreciate you all being patrons and supporting the show for 8 years. That's huge, 8 years. So #Ask Chris. So you can ask me any questions. It's Ask Chris time. We're going to talk about some Wrestle Kingdom, and I'm going to answer the Ask Chris questions that you have for me. Let's talk about some Wrestle Kingdom, though. Your thoughts on Wrestle Kingdom? Any thoughts that you have on Wrestle Kingdom? So let's so night 1 and 2. Let me go. Let's do Wrestle Kingdom first. Let me. So I watched Wrestle Kingdom and I watched New Year's Dash. So I watched all three nights throughout. Like, I think today was the last time. I have New Japan World, so I watched. I think I watched night 1. I think it came like on East Coast. It came like 3 a.m. So I wasn't going to be up for that. So at the gym, I watched night 1 on the day after, the day of. So it came on like 3 a.m. So that day I start watching night 1, and then when I came to do work in the evening, I finished night 1, and then night 2 I watched like over 2 days, I believe, and then I was actually watching night 2 and Raw simultaneously yesterday, last night, and then today I watched New Year's Bash. So I watched all 3 of them. And for night 1, let me look at the card and just remember some things that I thought was pretty cool. So for night one, real quick, I knew that this was going to happen, but not happy that Liger lost both nights. Liger was, yeah, I got to do a promo with the New Day. Yeah, that's true. I like that. Yeah, cheaper than a cheeseburger. That's right. That's right. Yes, donates. Antoine is saying. Rumors about Drew McIntyre turning face. I think CC's playing it with the way he's been on the mic. You know, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. I'm cool with Drew. Actually, I've had Drew McIntyre on my show. I don't know how I feel about that as a face. He was so good as a heel, so good as a heel, and he's still like he's at the point now where he's kind of people are getting the 3-2-1 thing. I can tell that that's an angle of where he's going to turn face, but he's still fighting heels. I want to see Drew and Brock. I don't think Brock should ever turn face. So if we do see Drew Brock, I do want to see Drew as the face. So, yeah, I think eventually we'll see it. I wouldn't do it now, though. I wouldn't do it now. I would do it right before SummerSlam. I think Brock should keep the title, whoever he goes against, and we'll talk about that as far as just in the headlines. The other two headlines we'll talk about as far as the lack of booking for WrestleMania so far. I don't know. Now, I mean, 3 months. I don't know if 3 months is good enough to really get behind Drew as a babyface. He's got more character. I mean, he started in NXT as a babyface, and he was a babyface for a while. Actually, he was a babyface the whole time in NXT, wasn't he? Lost to Andrade, and then I think he was like turning heel. And that's when Adam Cole debuted, I believe, too. Yeah, so he really like became a heel, a hated heel, and on the main roster. And he does such a. I mean, WWE is really deprived of good heels nowadays. So I think you really want to keep that. You want to keep that element of a good heel. And Drew is one of the only people. Baron Corbin's killing it. He's probably the best one right now as far as just a true heel. And Drew was up there. So you want to keep that. You want to keep the element of the true heels. Seth is getting there too. No one cheers Seth anymore, so that's good. I would consider him a true heel now. So I don't know. It's quite interesting to see where they're going to do with Drew. I wouldn't turn him face yet. I mean, I can see more a Drew Brock SummerSlam type of thing. I don't know if I'm sold on Drew Brock and Mania with Drew as a face yet. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I see that yet. Eventually, yes, but you don't want to hot shot someone to becoming a babyface who's been a heel for so long and a really good one. I think you want to kind of put some. I always say put some equity in that and kind of build to him becoming a really good babyface. So those are my initial thoughts on it. All right, so let's talk about some Wrestle Kingdom. Let's see what other we got real quick. Usos return real quick, Elvis. I think it's cool. I think I think it's cool. I like it. I would be interested to see. Here's what I would be interested to see. I don't want to see Roman. I've been a huge Roman Reigns fan, still am. He's my favorite wrestler in the WWE. I don't want to see Roman win the Royal Rumble and face Bray at Mania. I don't want to see that. I've talked about this before. Put some more time in it. He's doing a really good job. I want to see Roman Reigns and the Usos versus Seth and AOP. I think that would be cool for WrestleMania because you can cross brand like that with WrestleMania. And I think that would be a pretty cool cross brand match. Roman and the Usos versus Seth and AOP. That would even work in Roman's favor because right now you're trying to make Roman as big as a babyface as you can. And so I think if you did that, him working with Seth and AOP, who are just true heels, I think that would help Roman substantially. So I think that's what you do. I'll be totally cool with that. I'd be cool with that being a Mania match, actually, with cross branding, because the thing is, you don't want to get to the point where you are just totally backtracking all the equity that you've built with Roman Reigns becoming a babyface. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that because if he wins that Royal Rumble and if he go against the Fiend, all of that time built and spent for him to actually be a babyface will just be gone. And you'll be right back into that situation again of him being booed. And you don't want that. Finally, you've got to the point where he's being majority cheered. So I think if you do Reigns and the Usos against Rollins and AOP, there you go. I think there's a big story behind that. Reigns and Rollins, the Shield, stables, trios. I think there's a lot of things you can work with that. That'll work. That'll be pretty cool. Elvis, I did. I'm glad that you remember that I'm a Titans fan. Did I? It was a slugfest, as Jim Ross would say. It was mostly 14-13 for most of it, with the exception of that last minute pick six. But we slayed the goat, the beast. We beat the Patriots. That is amazing, and so I was very, very happy about that. Yes, that is my team, absolutely. All right. No, Heyman leaving Brock and joining up with Seth and LP. I don't want to see Brock alone. I don't want to see Brock without Heyman. There's just no point in that. And Seth is already the mic guy for he's already the stick guy for ALP and Seth, so they don't really need a manager. But Seth is kind of playing the manager, the player coach role at this point. Oh, the Dark Order. Oh, yeah. Okay. I was thinking the Dark Order, but the way that you were describing it, I didn't really pick it up from what you were saying. But yeah, the Dark Order. It seemed like they're trying to recruit the Jurassic Express. They're trying to recruit, I think, Jungle Boy, right? I don't know. It's weird. Cole, don't you trip, man. Don't you trip. I saw that. Brock used to do promos before, not good ones, not very good ones. Thank you, Cole. So it was a great idea. Cool. All right, so let's talk. What were your thoughts on Wrestle Kingdom? What are your thoughts on Wrestle Kingdom? Did you watch it? What'd you think? What grade would you give it? What do you think about Wrestle Kingdom? All right, so let's talk about night one real quick. So I watched all of it. I watched even the dark matches. Well, I watched the pre-show. Well, nothing much to say about the pre-show matches. Yeah, it was cool to see Tatsumi Fujinami compete again. I think it was like 93 when he went against Hogan. So that was really cool, man. That was really, really cool. Um, um, yeah. Hawkeye's destroying USC. Yep. Yeah, I think it was 93 when Fujinami went against Hogan in Tokyo. Let me see. Let me find out. 94. Yeah, 94. Hogan went against Muta in 93, September of 93. And in 94, the January 4th event at Tokyo Dome, Hogan went against Fujinami. So that was pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let's see. Chaos defeating Bullet Club. That was a good match. Hard hitting. Suzuki Goon beating LIJ. Yeah, I mean, Zack Sabre Jr., he's got a submission move for days. So that was cool to see. Finjuice winning the tag team titles. That was pretty interesting. Moxley and Archer. Yeah. So that was interesting. I think that's good because I think that protects Archer because they've really put some good investment in Archer in 2019, and him losing by countout was I think that was a good call to do that because he didn't get pinned and they protected him. And it's weird that he lost the title that way, but him not getting pinned or submitting, I think that protects his character. Takahashi winning, I knew that was going to happen. And then Naito beating Jay White was really good match. Really good match. And Okada beating Ibushi was an incredible match. The last two matches were just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Last three matches, the junior title match too was awesome. That took an hour and a half of the time, over an hour and a half of the total time. I think that the last three matches were incredible. Really, the Texas Death match was really good too, but the junior title match, the IC title match, and the heavyweight title match, that was really good. The night two, Liger losing, Takahashi pinning Liger. That was sad to see. Then Neger's Dastard did the celebration. Wrestling 5 different decades. Yeah. I saw that about Dustin Rhodes and Ray wrestling in 5 different decades. That was pretty cool. Moxley beating Juice, that was good. ZSJ beating Sonata. I actually thought Sonata was going to win the match because they've been putting some investment in him. Ponky 3K winning the junior tag team titles again. I've criticized the junior tag division. I wish that there was more teams involved in the junior tag division. I've said this before watching Wrestle Kingdoms. I wish that there was a little bit more involvement of new people. I think this is like their 4th time winning the tag team titles. And they've only been around for a few years. So, yeah. And then Jay White defeating Ibushi. I expected that too. They protected Ibushi because Gato was involved and they had all types of crazy bells and whistles and shenanigans and all that. Goto beating Kenta. That was a really good match. That was one of my favorite matches of the night too. Jericho and Tanahashi. Jericho's in my all-time top 5, but it was okay. It was okay. I was a little underwhelmed by that match. It wasn't bad at all, but I was a little underwhelmed, especially from 2 amazing names like Jericho and Tanahashi. It was okay. It was okay. It was good, but it was was good, but it was a bit underwhelming for me. I think maybe I expected more. Maybe I expected too much. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't bad though. It wasn't bad. And then Naito beating Okada. I mean, the commentator Chris. I forgot who translated Chris Charlton, who translates to he's also the translator. He really put Naito over like a bunch. Like he put him over so much. And I was like, oh man, he's gonna win. Watch him win this match and beat Okada, because Chris Charlton put him over, talking about 5 years old, kindergarten, catching a train with his dad to watch wrestling and all that. And I'm like, oh man. Because Okada's one of my top. I mean, he's my top five's been the same five for a while now. Well, actually, I'm still looking at my five. My five has changed a little bit on the lower end, because I can put Jericho in there again because he's full time again. So I would say, as far as modern era, I would say my number one. It's Jay Lethal, Roman Reigns, Kazuchika Okada, New Day as a whole, and then I would say Jericho in the fifth spot, just because he's full time again, and Jericho's my number four all time. So I guess I'll throw Jericho in that fifth spot. But yeah, Jay Lethal, Roman Reigns, Kazuchika Okada, New Day, Jericho. That's my top five. So yeah, I knew him winning was something that was bittersweet, because Naito's such a awesome competitor, but Okada's my guy, man. I'm a huge Okada mark. I think he's fantastic. I think he's amazing. So he can keep the title for 8 years, and I'll be totally fine with it. He kept it for 2 at once, and I was totally fine with it. So it's cool. Could WWE pull off a good four corners match like back in the day? Elaborate a little bit more into that. Cole, as far as four corners, is like a Texas, like a four corners, like a Texas strap match type of four corners, or just a 4-way match. Because if you're talking like Texas strap match, no. The Texas bull rope match that touched the four corners. Okay, yeah. Where they use the bull. Yeah, I think JBL was it JBL and Taker that had the bull rope match, or was it JBL and Eddie? Let me see. That was when he was a champ. Might have been Eddie, or it might have been Batista. Batista. It was Batista. 2005 Texas Bull Rope match. Yeah. So I think that's really the last one I remember, and it was okay. It was a good gimmick to help JBL while he was champ. So, that worked. All right. So what else? What else we talking about here? That was the Wrestle Kingdom review, and that was headlines. When will Becky drop the belt into who? I think it'll be Mania to maybe Ronda Rousey. Maybe Ronda Rousey returns at the Royal Rumble. Maybe we'll see Rousey versus Lynch at Mania. I surely don't want to see Becky Lynch versus Charlotte. I don't want to see that. So, we haven't had any pregnancy things. That was her project after Mania last year, of starting a family. Haven't heard anything from that. So if she's ready to rock and roll, I would say Rousey either returning at the Mania at the Raw after the Royal Rumble or the Raw after the Chamber. And starting a program with Becky Lynch. I think that would be marquee for sure. What else we got? Do I listen to Corey Graves' podcast? I have listened to like one episode, I think. Yeah, he was bashing something. I think he was bashing matches. The same matches are happening over and over again. I forgot who he had on as guest, but he was talking before he brought the guest on. He was kind of giving his type of commentary on some things, and he made some good points, though. I agree. He was talking about the same match happening over and over and over again and how it just loses its luster. And I agree with him. Totally. Shayna? Nah. Flair versus Shayna? Huh. Yeah, Flair versus Shayna. I don't know if I'd make that a Mania match, but I think it has some. I think it has some interest, some intrigue to it. I suppose it has some intrigue to it. Yeah, I think it has. I think it has some intrigue to it. All right, so let's talk about Brock Lesnar in the Royal Rumble. So Paul Heyman announced on Raw that Brock Lesnar is going to be a part of the Royal Rumble match, and he's going to be at number 1. So I thought that this was the weirdest thing. I thought this was the oddest thing when he said that. And so as I was looking at it, it was just kind of a bunch of ellipses to me. Like it just kept going. Like I was just kind of wondering what the catch in this is. And I was like, okay, so is this for the title? Is this for if he wins, does he get an automatic title shot against Bray? If he gets eliminated, does that relinquish the title? And does the winner still get a universal title match? There's just so many loose ends in this whole thing. And it just made it so weird to me. And I'm like, this is just really weird. There's no stipulation to it. Now, granted, back in like 89 and 90, when like Hogan won, he was champ. But this is the first time since the incentive of winner gets that WrestleMania spot that a WWE champion has been in the Royal Rumble with no incentive. Like Roman Reigns was champ, I think back in, what was that, 16, when Triple H won it, when he entered in number 1. I think he was champ, wasn't he? The time that Triple H won it back in, I think it was 2016. Ambrose was the runner-up. Let me verify that. Well, it may have been 15. Yeah. It was 16. It was 16. Triple H won at the Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns beat Sheamus on Raw about 6 weeks prior. And so Roman Reigns entered number 1 and he was champ, but it was for the title though. So I can't think of anybody post Hogan or post incentive, winner becomes number one contender that actually entered in as champ with nothing at stake. That was just weird to me. It's like there's so many loose ends. So I did some digging, and what I heard was it's twofold. I heard one, and I've known this for a while. I've known this for like a couple of weeks now. They still don't have anything. They really don't have anything locked in for Mania. The biggest rumor now is Reigns versus the Fiend for the Universal Championship. That's really the only thing they have rumored right now. There were some rumors of like Tyson Fury or Cain Velasquez against Brock, which I don't want to see that at all. I mean, for the championship, that would just be terrible. So they legitimately don't have a competitor for Brock. I heard like a couple weeks ago someone threw the name of Ricochet for Brock for the Rumble, but not for Mania, but for the Rumble. So of course that didn't happen. So they really don't have anybody for Brock, and they're still trying to figure out who for Brock to go against. And so I heard that. I also heard that he's entering the number one. He's entering at number one for the fans to get a gauge of for the writing staff to get a gauge of who they want, who could possibly be against Lesnar at Mania. It's a really, really weird thing. So essentially, if the rumors are true that I heard, and there's a couple other sites that verified it too, that's passed along these rumors too. But if the rumors that I heard was true, essentially what you're doing is you're creating the live crowd at Minute Maid Stadium, right? So Houston Astros Stadium. So essentially what you're saying is you're asking the fans at Minute Maid Stadium to be a focus group for the WWE. So you're not paying them, because I've been in plenty of focus groups. Focus groups typically are paid. So what you're doing essentially is you're saying that I want the Houston Astros Stadium attendees, Minute Maid Stadium, to be a focus group to determine who's going to go against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. That's genius for WWE, but everybody in Houston that night, you should feel duped because you have to pay to get a ticket there, and you will not be compensated for that focus group that you will be a part of. And you didn't have to sign any papers or any waivers or anything like that. No confidentiality, nothing. You're going to be a part of the focus group. If these rumors are true, which definitely they seem to be, you're going to be a part of a focus group to determine who will compete against Brock Lesnar at a WrestleMania. Congratulations. So that is really, really, really interesting stuff. So we'll see. We'll see who will be that person. But yeah, that's really interesting. They should have figured this out last year. I agree, 100%. Cole said, "I bet we'll be disappointed the Royal Rumble match." I think at the bottom line is, man, just they don't have anybody. I mean, if I had, again, I'm Lashley Lesnar. I think this whole Lashley thing is just totally wasted potential for him. I went Lashley Lesnar. That's just, I mean, the writing is on the wall of how much that seemingly will draw. If I had another choice, it would be like a Keith Lee. I've had Keith Lee on my show before, and he's talked about how he wants to face Lesnar at WrestleMania. So, the thing is, you have to have someone in the marquee that seems like they can legit beat Brock Lesnar, or their pop in the moment is so infectious that their supports can get behind possibly beating Brock Lesnar. So we don't have that with anybody. I mean, the default to me would be Braun Strowman. I still want to see Braun beat Lesnar. It's crazy that Seth Rollins beat Lesnar twice last year, and Braun Strowman still struggling to beat Brock Lesnar. Had time after time after opportunity after opportunity. Still didn't beat Lesnar. But for somehow Rollins wins twice in 1 year. That's just very, very weird to me. Brian is asking about the Otis thing. It's a fun thing to see on SmackDown, man. I look forward to it. It's a nice way to use both of them. How would it go? Yeah, probably Mandy eventually turning heel again, or Mandy being a manager of heavy machinery. Now that would be funny. Rusev returned as Bulgarian Brute. I mean, so. And Bulgarian Brute, I mean, you're still going to get Rusev Day chance. That's not going to stop Rusev Day chance. He's just going to. And Bulgarian Brute was a heel. Rusev Day is the babyface. It's weird. It's just really odd booking. Very odd booking for sure. All right. So we're going to talk about Hogan. Yeah, Cole, he returned to SmackDown, not NXT. And then you get like a Miz heel turn too, which was like you're rooting for Daniel Bryan to beat up Rey because he scared your family, but you're so out of control that you turn heel on Kofi. And then you start arguing with the fans about how much you've done for them. I don't know what you're trying to do at that point. So very, very odd stuff. Dirt Sheet is back. Okay, yay. Ooh, the Dirt Sheet's back. I mean, John Morrison's a cool dude, man. I've had him on my show before, but and super cool dude. We texted back and forth numerous times, but I definitely wasn't hoping to see this. I mean, I wanted him in NXT. So as far as Raw and SmackDown, I'm trying to figure out anything from SmackDown. Sheamus and Usos returning. That was pretty cool in SmackDown. SmackDown actually wasn't bad at all. The Usos returning was a bit of a surprise, so that was good to see back. Fiend giving Bryan the mandible call. Does that mean I don't think they're going to Daniel Bryan win at Royal Rumble? So I don't know why you don't want to jack up the Fiend either, as far as what they have with him. So yeah, you don't want to have him look weak either. I would say you just don't have any type of physical altercation with them. So yeah, they can't do Eminem because Melina's with NWA. Yeah. Well, they won't be doing Eminem either because Joey Mercury is not in the WWE anymore either. So Eminem was Mercury, Nitro, and Melina. Eminem. SmackDown. As far as Raw is concerned, what are they doing with Rey? What's this? And I wrote an article about this on Slam Buzz. We might see a heel turn. We might see this all build up to Dominic making a really bad heel turn. He might be plotting. I'm gonna put this up here. he might be plotting to turn on Rey Mysterio. So I wrote this. Yeah, I wrote this on Slam Buzz. So I said that Games of Sweet Revenge. So I said I would be interested to see if this Rey versus Dominic storyline leads to a match between the two at WrestleMania 36. The two can start off as a tag team at the beginning of the year, with Dominic making a shocking heel turn on his father leading up to the WrestleMania. Dominic can cut a promo of how he felt forbidden during the custody battle involving Eddie Guerrero back in 2005. This heated feud between Rey and Eddie led to a ladder match at SummerSlam, which Mysterio won. So yeah, I think that would be interesting if they did that. I'd be cool with it. It'd be something, for Rey. It'd be a big feud for Rey. I'd be game for it. I mean, why not? So, yeah. Cole's behind that idea. Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, do it. I mean, what else are you going to do with Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania? Have him get beat in like 20 seconds again, like he did last year against Samoa Joe? No, I mean, have something come out of it. Have something, this Dominic storyline, get some development from it. Dominic's been training a lot, so have him turn on Rey. So I would have him turn on Rey and then go back and then go to like NXT, and that would be pretty cool if he did that. So, all right, I think the last thing we want to talk about before we get to the flavor of the week, which you all can choose from. You can choose the flavor of the week this week. And we have to do this PNP awards, these PNP year-end awards from last year. I'm waiting. Listen, we're not going to do them if I said this is going to be fans' choice, all fans' choice. So I'm seeing a bunch of questions during this show. I'm not going to look at I'm not going to sort through all the comments and try to find questions. How about this? Go to the Crave Wrestling YouTube page, or actually go to the Crave Wrestling Facebook page. Subscribe to the Crave Wrestling Facebook page and go to the go there. See that? Go to the Crave Wrestling Facebook page and subscribe. And actually become a fan on the Crave Wrestling Facebook page right here, and basically submit your. I think I'll make a post about it. PNP year-end awards, and then we'll do that. So, unless somebody has another idea. Unless you want to just tweet them to me. Y'all, listen, the PNP Nation, y'all are the ones who are making this work, making this happen. So if you guys don't figure it out, I'll just create some PNP awards for last year. We got to do them before January because it'll make no sense if we do them past January. So whoever wants to be in charge of that, Cole, Mo, Elvis, Cody, any of y'all, Lexi, any of y'all want to be in charge of creating? How about y'all? How about a PNP committee of figuring out these questions and making it happen? How about that? How about the PNP committee do that? We vote under a post. That would work. Put tweet up with options and we apply under the tweet. Cole said not it. I like this. Rey versus Andrade with Dominic turning heel at WrestleMania. I like that. So yeah, y'all figure that out. Vote under a post. No, how about you just you got to figure out the categories. So I think we talked about best interview, worst interview, best match, worst match, most shocking moment. I guess we do have the. Yeah, you guys figure this out. So post this on my Crave Wrestling Facebook page of what we're going to do. 6 categories. All right, 6 categories. So we have best interviews. So Mo, put this on my Crave Wrestling Facebook page of the categories: best interview, worst interview, not best P&P interview, and worst P&P interview, interviewer, and then most shocking P&P moment. These are all the P&P awards. So yeah, you guys figure that out. So Brian says biggest botch. Yeah, I'm cool with that too. But most of it is P&P related. So the best P&P interview, worst P&P interview, most shocking P&P moment, funniest P&P moment. That's fun to me. That's, because you can have awards for days. I mean, it really don't mean anything. All right, so I'll write these down. So best interview, worst interview. I'll put these down. What else is it? So hurry up and throw some titles at me. We want 6, so I'll put them down. Best interview. So the best interview from P&P of last year. The worst interview. Most surprising no-show. There's only been one no-show, so we know who that's going to be. Most surprising no-show. All right, so give me at least 3 more. So right now we have best interview, worst interview, most surprising no-show. I think I said 1 too. Funniest P&P moment of 2019. What else? How about best episode? Is that cool? You want that best episode? Best episode? Y'all cool with best episode? Let me know. Biggest reveal. Funniest special. I like that. Funniest special guest. I like that. Funniest special guest. That's good. That's a good one, Cole. Let's see what else we got. That's a good one. That's a good one, Mo. Best flavor of the week. I like that one a lot, actually. Best episode. Okay, Cody. All right. I like that. Those are cool. So right now we have 7. I think that's cool. Give me one more. Let's even it out. Let's do one more. Give me one more. Okay. I like that one, Cody. So we'll do most shocking. So you said most shocking thing a guest has said. We'll just put that as most shocking moment. All right. So we have best interview, worst interview, most surprising no-show. Let me put these down here. Let's see. I think we can do. There we go. So those are the topics. Best interview, worst interview, most surprising no-show, funniest P&P moment, funniest special guest, best flavor of the week, and best episode. All right. So those are the categories. So we'll figure that out for next week. So the P&P awards. All right. See, teamwork makes the dream work. PNP Awards, PNP Awards are set, and we're gonna make it happen. That sounds good. Oh yeah, Hogan. What are your guys' thoughts on Hogan returning to WrestleMania 36? That was the last thing. That was the last thing we were talking about before for the week. Hogan WrestleMania 36. What are your thoughts on that? Yes or no? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Hogan for WrestleMania 36. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Fan favorite guess. Okay. Oh, I like this one. I like this one a lot, actually. I like that one, Brian. Yeah, I like that. So I guess we can have more. So if we're going, so let's just do this next week. We'll do the PNP Awards next week. I like that a lot. Most likely not to be asked back. That's funny. Fan favorite guess. Okay. So okay. Yeah. That's different from best interview. So yeah, I agree. That's different from best interview. So fan favorite guess. I like that too. All right, cool. Cool. So we have 10. So we have 10 categories. Sounds good. That's gonna be fun. All right, so thoughts on Hogan. Cole says no. Mo says he's too old. Love Hogan, but no. Elvis wants him back, brother. Thumbs down for Cole. If he's in shape, he can do it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, the nostalgia never goes away. Me as a fan, as far as just old school wrestlers, I grew up with like a Hogan. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. If I had to choose, I would say yes. I would say yes. And I said this before. I wrote this on an article, and I actually talked about this when Bischoff was on live. I said Cesaro will be the one. Cesaro will be the perfect person for Hogan to me. That would be great. I would totally be cool with that. So, yeah, I agree. It would bring ratings for sure. If Hogan was returning, that would definitely bring some casuals for sure. Definitely. So, all right. So let's talk about he haven't had a match at Mania since Rock and Hogan. No, actually, that was 18. He had one the year after 19. He went against Vince. So 2003 was his last match at Mania. His last WWE match was 2006, I believe, when he went against Orton at SummerSlam. That was 2006. So he hasn't wrestled in WWE since for 13 and a half years, just about. And he hasn't wrestled at WrestleMania for 17 years. So after 17 years away from WrestleMania, Hulk Hogan, 66 years old, could make a comeback, brother. So, this would be a good match. They would have to build it, though. They would have to build it. I just don't want to see matches just because you have to build it. Speaking of that, Elvis, I think that's a good. Flavor of the week. What matches do you want to see for WrestleMania? There you go. Yeah, I think Edge. I think Randy Orton actually was. He actually threw Edge's name out there. I think that was intentional. You might see a rated RKO reunion. That would be interesting. Maybe AJ and the club against. It's going to be filled with 6-man matches against like Edge, Orton, and somebody, or maybe that would be interesting to see. I want to see Randy AJ singles though, because I like the fact that Randy as a heel, AJ as a face was last year, and now Randy as a face, AJ as a heel. So Randy as a heel, AJ as a face last year. This year it'd be Randy as a face, AJ as a heel. So that would be pretty cool. All right, so flavor of the week is, what matches do you want to see at WrestleMania? That could actually happen. Let's make that clear. That could actually happen at WrestleMania. Okay. Iconics versus Trish and Lita. Okay. I mean, okay. I don't see it as a Mania match. Iconics just isn't marquee enough to really be in that spot. Honestly, from what they've been doing, they've been booking them terribly. I don't want to see Sting versus Taker. This is why I don't want to see Sting versus Taker, because Sting would lose, and Sting's the GOAT to me, and Sting's WWE career is already completely just bananas trash. It's just absolutely terrible. And so that would be another that would be another loss for Sting. So I don't want to see that. Rated RKO versus OC. Yeah, so that would be interesting if they did that. Now, where do you put AJ though? Where do you put AJ if they're bringing rated RKO back for the OC? So that would require AJ going into a different feud, and I don't want to see AJ in a different feud. OC versus UE. No, I mean they're both heels. You know, you to me, you wouldn't want to do that. Heel versus heel. I mean, you got to make that. I mean, you got to make sure that you're separating faces and heels, because we want to see the story too. You don't just put something together. That's just not WrestleMania. We need to see stories. Cole is saying Becky versus Rousey. I think he likes my idea about that. He also likes my idea of the Bloodline versus the Architects of Pain. I'm saying make it happen, man. Make it happen. Make Roman the Usos go against Seth and AOP. That's when it's WrestleMania. You can blur the lines. I like the split. I think you should keep the split, but at WrestleMania you can kind of blur the lines a bit. So I think that's what you should do. I'm a big fan there. If Sting win, Taker retire, they're not going to do that. They're not going to have Sting retire Taker. As much as I'd be cool with that, but I don't retire him at WrestleMania. I mean, this year, 2020 makes 30 years of Taker being in the WWE. So he should retire at where he debuted, which is the first pay-per-view debut was Survivor Series. So he should retire Survivor Series. That would be, he should have a Jushin Thunder Liger style, but I wouldn't have him lose on his way. I like Liger did both nights, but he should retire at Survivor Series. I wouldn't have him retire at Mania. Okay, so rated RKO with RKO, so rated RKO KO. That would be interesting. Usos versus New Day. They always kill it, but yeah. No way. No way in 3 million years would I want to see Adam Cole versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. That is just, appreciate you, Elvis. You're a fan of the show every week. I got love for you, my man. But that match right there would not be a marquee WrestleMania match ever. Definitely don't want to see that ever. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem, Mo. They are heels. They get cheered, but they wrestle baby faces. That's the problem. That's the problem that I have with faces and heels, because they hurt other baby faces because they fight good guys. They fight baby faces, and they're the ones getting cheered. That's the reason why I love people like Chris Jericho. And he's serious about that. He's serious about that. Undisputed Era are booked to be heels. They get cheered, but that doesn't make them good heels. Let's be honest. If they're getting cheered and they're getting over more than their babyface opponents, that does not make them good heels, because a good heel makes for a good babyface. I keep saying that. If you are a good heel, your goal is to make people hate you and put over your opponent who's a good guy. Now, if you're getting more cheers than your babyface opponent, that's a huge problem, and that you're not doing your job correctly. Simple as that. Maurice is asking what I think of Matt Riddle runs the Rumble versus Brock, and no. Come on, guys. Matt Riddle versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. What type of dumpster fire are we trying to create here? Now, I wouldn't be opposed to Riddle versus Brock somewhere, but yeah. No, and again, Mo, no. That's the problem. WWE is not New Japan, and Bullet Club are heels. And so that's the point. Kenta is one of the most hated wrestlers right now, period, and he's in the Bullet Club. Jay White, one of the most hated wrestlers in Japan, he's in the Bullet Club. So the Bullet Club, or the Undisputed and the Bullet Club, are definitely not alike. When the Bullet Club started with Prince Devitt and Carl Anderson and Tama Tonga, they were hated. They were hated. Like people like and even when AJ was a part of the Bullet Club, when he joined, they were hated. So that's not a good comparison. They're not like the Bullet Club. People like the Young Bucks, when they were in Bullet Club, they kind of changed the dynamic a bit. But AJ he came in swinging. He came in feuding with Okada. He was a heel. He was jeered. He wanted to make sure that he was hated. Same thing with Kenny Omega. When they ousted AJ, Kenny Omega wanted to make sure that he was hated. That was his whole point, is that's what they wanted to do when he joined the Bullet Club. He did not want that. Like, the point was not to try to elicit pops. That's the thing. You're not trying, like, Adam Cole, baby. Like, you're trying to elicit a fan reaction as a heel, and that is awful. That's terrible. The Bullet Club, like Bad Luck Fale, he's in a Bullet Club. He's nowhere near a baby face. He is one of the most true heels. Bad Luck Fale is one of the most true heels in New Japan. So you have Bad Luck Fale, Gato, and Jado, crazy heels. Both of them are. GOD, Tama Tonga Tagaloa, heels. They're all like, I'm giving you more and more Bullet Club names of people right now in the Bullet Club who are heels. Takahashi's a heel. Chase Owens, they're all like straight up heels. I mean, Chase Owens isn't really. I mean, he's not necessarily a big character in the Bullet Club. Takahashi isn't either. But Takahashi does play the heel role, in the Bullet Club. So, I think it's one of those things that's not even a comparison. Let's see what else we got before we go here. You guys got some interesting. Whether I agree with it or not, you guys have some pretty interesting choices here. Miz versus DB. It seemed like they at a point they were both high enough to reach that. That would be kind of interesting. I don't know about WrestleMania though, but I think a good story is worth the WrestleMania match rather than just putting two people together that you want to see wrestle. If there's a good story behind it, I think it's worth it. So if there's potential there, you would have to really build that really good. Usos versus Hardy Boys. I don't even know if Jeff would be back by then. He should be, but I'm not sure. Again, I'm not interested in just seeing a good wrestling match. I want to see a story. I want to see a build. WrestleMania isn't about just good wrestling matches. It's about stories being culminated. The showcase of the immortals is what they call WrestleMania. So just putting, I mean, you can see that on Raw, just putting matches together just for the heck of it. That's not WrestleMania. Joe versus Brock. I mean, it was great balls of fire that they went against each other. Possibly. I would love to see Adam Cole versus Keith Lee for the NXT Championship. But as I said before, I want to see that at Takeover. I want to see that Takeover. I don't like the fact that NXT has been on WrestleMania. Takeover is its own brand. I said this before. The more you bleed in NXT with WWE, the more we're not going to see a distinction. Brock versus Johnny G. Gargano versus Dio Madden. Elvis. So you're coming to tell me that 70,000 people, glitz, glamour, pyro, fire, main event, boom, 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 all throughout the press outlets, compared to all the other WrestleMania, showcase of the immortals. You got all these on the big screen. Brock Lesnar versus Dio Madden versus Johnny Gargano. Okay. Joe versus AJ or Rollins. Again, man, I'm not interested in just good matches, man. Like we can't lose sight of what WrestleMania is all about. It's about just culmination of amazing storylines. We can see all this stuff on Raw. Morrison versus Ricochet, that's another one. Like that's we can see that on Raw or SmackDown. There's just that would be. I'm not interested in more of any of these things. Riddle versus Goldberg. If Goldberg squashes them, but Riddle's on NXT. Yeah. Who's going to win a Dusty Classic? Maurice is asking. Who's a part of the Dusty Classic? Did they announce the teams yet? Let me see who's a part of it. So Undisputed Era Gallus is going against each other. So Kushida and the mystery opponent, Gallus, Grizzly and Veterans, UE, Andrews and Webster, Riddle and Pete Dunne. Interesting. Imperium and Forgotten Sons. That's interesting, but I wouldn't be surprised if UE won it again. Interesting. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I mean, really, the only team that really stands out it would be UE again. So, all right, y'all. Yeah, exactly. Right. Oh man. Yeah, but that's the point. We shouldn't. I mean, they don't build matches anymore, but we shouldn't succumb to bad booking. We shouldn't be satisfied with bad booking by badly booking. That just don't work. All right. I think that is it for me. Black and McIntyre. Huh. That would be interesting. I would like that, actually. I like that a lot, Cole. That's a good idea. I like that. Bailey versus Cross. No, we already saw that to let Nikki win. No, Elvis. Sorry, man. Not interested whatsoever. Not even close. All right. ALP versus Viking Raiders. Yeah. All right. So who will win the Andre Battle Royal? I have no idea who's in here. I don't know. Elvis, you know what? You would be a really good booker for house shows. Like all these matches that you're doing, house shows. Put them on house shows. But Mania, no way. No way. I don't know who's even in the Andre Battle Royal to make a judgment yet. I'm not sure. See, I've said this before, Cole. I think Sasha. See, I'll be interested in Sasha winning the Rumble, and then so they would think that it'll be Sasha Bailey, but Sasha actually turns on. I mean, they Bailey would think there'll be Sasha Becky, but Sasha actually turns on Bailey and make Bailey a babyface again. There's no way. Heel Bailey is just it's just real bad. Real bad. All right, guys. Got to roll. It's been a while. We went overtime too. So Flavor of the Week was really good. So thank you, Elvis, for actually starting the Flavor of the Week. Although your matches weren't really Mania quality matches, I really appreciate you giving me matches and participating and starting the Flavor of the Week. So big kudos to Elvis for that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of my guy, Doug Basham, this is 406 episodes. Until next week, ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad we got the PNP list together. I'll put this on the Crave Wrestling Facebook. So go ahead and follow the Crave Wrestling Facebook page. Subscribe to the Crave Wrestling YouTube page. Subscribe, guys. Subscribe. Crave Wrestling YouTube page. If you're watching this right now, go to Crave Wrestling on YouTube and hit that subscribe button. All right. So I would have this on the Crave Wrestling Facebook page as far as the PNP categories for you all to take a week to figure out what they're going to be, and then we're going to have some fun. All right. Yeah, so we'll do it that way. All right. Until next week, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your week of wrestling. God bless, and always remember, I'll do it for you. Have a good night. God bless. Bye-bye.